Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Practice Podcast.
I'm Sophie, and it's wonderful to have you with us again for this special extended episode.
Today, we have a really big topic to discuss, something that's on everyone's mind at some point jobs.
It's a huge part of our lives, isn't it? It's more than just how we earn money. It often shapes our days, our weeks, and even our future.
Exactly. So let's start with the big picture in the US. The job market feels like it's in a constant state of change.
It really is. You have the traditional manufacturing jobs in the Rust Belt, the booming tech scene on the West Coast, and the massive service industry everywhere else.
It's such a diverse landscape. A job in a small town in the Midwest is going to be very different from a corporate job in New York City.
Absolutely. In a small town, a major employer might be the local hospital or a manufacturing plant. In a big city, the options are almost endless.
We also can't forget the importance of the healthcare and education sectors. They are huge employers all across the country.
That's a great point. And retail is massive too. Millions of people work in stores, from small boutiques to huge big box retailers like Walmart or Target.
It feels like the idea of a single stable career path has shifted so much over the last couple of decades.
It has the idea of working for one company for 40 years and then retiring with a pension is almost a thing of the past for most people.
Now it's all about adapting, learning new skills, and sometimes even having multiple streams of income.
This brings up the gig economy, which has exploded with companies like Uber, DoorDash, and Instacart.
That's a huge part of the modern workforce. It offers flexibility, but it comes with its own set of challenges, as we can discuss later.
Exactly. It requires a different skill set and mindset. Strong English, digital literacy, and self-discipline are essential.
You have to be your own manager in a way. No one is there to tell you to start working at 9 a.m.
And you have to be comfortable with technology, like managing your work through an app and dealing with online ratings.
The rise of fully remote work has also completely changed the game for traditional office jobs.
It has. People are now applying for jobs in different states, which wasn't as common before. It has untethered jobs from geography.
It's created new opportunities, but also new challenges, like how to build a company culture when no one is in the same room.
It's a fascinating time to be in the workforce. There's so much change happening all at once.
That's a perfect transition. Let's get a bit more personal. What was your very first paid job?
My first official job was working the cash register at a local fast food restaurant when I was 16. It was a real eye-opener.
I think that's a classic first job for a lot of Americans. What's the biggest lesson you learned from it?
How to handle pressure and deal with difficult customers. Learning to stay calm and polite when someone is upset is a skill that has served me well ever since.
That's a skill that's useful in any job, really. Customer service is a part of almost every role. My first job was as a camp counselor during the summer.
That sounds like fun. What did you learn from that?
Responsibility on a whole new level. I was responsible for a group of 8-year-olds. Keeping them safe and entertained for a whole day taught me about leadership and planning.
And incredible patience, I'm sure. You also learn how to work as part of a team with the other counselors.
Definitely. It's funny how those early simple jobs teach us such foundational lessons about work ethic.
They really do. They build the base for whatever career comes next. What about education's role in getting a job today?
It feels like the conversation around college has changed. The 4-year degree is still a common path, but it's not the only one.
Right. The student debt crisis has made people seriously consider other options.
Exactly. Trade schools for jobs like electricians or plumbers are making a big comeback. They can lead to very stable, high paying careers.
And for the tech industry, you have coding boot camps that can get you job ready in a matter of months, not years.
It seems like employers are becoming more open to skills based hiring rather than just looking at what degree you have.
It's a positive shift. It opens doors for people from different backgrounds, but internships are still incredibly important, especially for corporate jobs.
They are. An internship is your chance to get real world experience and see if you actually like the industry.
The debate over paid versus unpaid internships is always a hot topic, though.
It is. An unpaid internship can be a barrier for students who need to earn money over the summer.
But having that experience on your resume is almost a requirement for some fields. It's a tough situation.
It really is. So let's talk about the process of actually getting a job. The first hurdle is always the resume.
The resume. My biggest tip is to avoid having just one generic version. You have to tailor it for each application.
That is the most important advice, I think. Read the job description and use the same keywords they do. Many companies use software to scan resumes first.
That's the Applicant Tracking System, or ATS. If your resume doesn't have the right keywords, a human may never even see it.
So, customization isn't just a good idea, it's essential for getting past the first filter. It shows you've actually read the job description.
And keep it clean and easy to read. Use a professional font, no fancy colors. One page is best unless you have over 10 years of experience.
And in the US, you should not include a photo on your resume. It's discouraged to prevent bias in the hiring process.
That's a critical point for our listeners. No photo and also no personal information like your age or marital status.
Exactly. And please proofread it. A spelling mistake on a resume is one of the easiest ways to get rejected.
It shows a lack of attention to detail. Ask a friend or a career advisor at your school to read it for you. A fresh pair of eyes can spot errors you've missed.
Speaking of your online presence, recruiters often look at your LinkedIn profile. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a reality of the modern job search. Your LinkedIn profile should be professional and consistent with your resume.
Think of it as your digital business card. It's a good idea to have a professional-looking headshot and a well-written summary.
And make sure your public social media profiles are clean. Recruiters will often do a quick search on you.
Absolutely. Now, what about cover letters? Do you think they are still important in the age of easy apply buttons?
I absolutely do, maybe more than ever. For a job you really want, a great cover letter is what can make you stand out from hundreds of other applicants.
It's your chance to show some personality and connect your skills directly to the company's mission or values.
It's where you can explain why you want the job. Your resume shows what you've done, but the cover letter shows your motivation and passion.
It's your chance to tell a story that your resume can't. A story about why you specifically want this job at this company.
Right. It shows you've done your research and you're not just clicking apply on every job you see. It shows genuine interest.
A good structure is key. A strong opening that names the position, a body that links your experience to the job requirements, and a confident closing.
And in the closing, you should state your enthusiasm and ask for an interview. Be proactive. It shows confidence.
What about networking? People always say, It's not what you know, it's who you know. How true is that?
I think it's a combination of both. You need the skills, but a personal connection can get your resume to the top of the pile.
This is often called the hidden job market. Many of the best jobs are never even advertised publicly. They're filled through referrals.
Exactly. So building a professional network is incredibly important. Use platforms like LinkedIn, connect with people in your desired industry.
How do you do that without being awkward? Just sending a random connection request and
It's better to personalize it. Send a short note explaining why you want to connect. Maybe you admire their work, or you went to the same university.
don't immediately ask for a job. Focus on building a relationship first. Ask them for a brief informational interview to learn about their experience.
People are often happy to share their advice if you approach them respectfully.
Let's say your networking pays off and you get an interview. We've talked about preparing, but what about the different types of interviews?
Good point. The first step is often a phone screen with someone from HR. It's a basic check to see if you meet the minimum qualifications.
The goal there is just to be clear, concise, and professional enough to get to the next round.
Then you might have a video interview with the hiring manager. This is where you really need to shine.
And after that, for some roles, there might be a final round with a panel of interviewers. That can be intimidating.
The key in a panel interview is to make eye contact with each person and try to build a connection with the entire group, not just one person.
For some technical roles, there might even be a skills test or a case study you have to complete.
Yes, they want to see you in action, to see how you think and solve problems under pressure.
A lot of companies now use behavioral questions like, tell me about a time when.
Yes, they want to see how you've handled situations in the past. The best way to answer those is with the STAR method.
Can you break down what STAR stands for our listeners?
Of course, S is for situation. Briefly explain the context. T is for task. Describe your responsibility. A is for action. Detail the specific steps you took. And R is for result. Explain the outcome of your actions.
It's a great framework. It stops you from rambling and gives a concrete, impressive answer.
It does. Another tip for interviews. Always have a few thoughtful questions prepared to ask them at the end.
What are some good questions to ask?
Things like, what does success look like in this role in the first 90 days? Or, can you describe the team's culture?
It shows you're engaged and thinking seriously about the role. It turns the interview into a two-way conversation.
And always send a thank you note or email within 24 hours. It's a small detail, but it shows professionalism.
So once the resume, cover letter, and interviews get you noticed, the next big step is often the salary negotiation. People find this so difficult.
It's uncomfortable because we're often not taught how to talk about money. The most important thing is to do your research beforehand.
Know the typical salary range for that role, in that industry, and in your city. Websites like Glassdoor and the Bureau of Labor Statistics can help.
So when they ask, what are your salary expectations? You have an informed answer.
My advice is to give a range, not a single number. It shows flexibility. And aim for the top half of what you think is reasonable.
It gives you room to negotiate, and try not to be the first one to name a price if you can avoid it.
And remember, salary is not the only thing you can negotiate. You can also discuss paid time off, PTO, flexible work hours, or professional development opportunities.
That's a great point. The total compensation package is what matters. Health insurance benefits, 401k matching, these are all very valuable.
Let's say you navigate all of that successfully, you get the job. The first 90 days are critical.
They are. It's often your probation period. Your goal should be to be a sponge. Listen and learn as much as possible. Don't try to change everything on day one.
That's the listen and learn tour. Meet people from different departments, understand how things work, and ask lots of thoughtful questions.
It shows you're engaged and humble. Focus on building relationships with your colleagues and understanding the company culture.
And what makes for a good onboarding experience from the company side?
A structured plan. Knowing who you're supposed to meet, what you're supposed to be learning, and having a clear point of contact for questions.
It's awful when you start a new job and they just give you a laptop and say, "Good luck."
That's a sign of a disorganized company. A good onboarding process shows that they are invested in your success.
And part of that success is finding a mentor if you can. Someone experienced in the company who can guide you.
What's the difference between a boss and a mentor? I think we should clarify that.
A boss manages your work and performance. They are responsible for your output. A mentor advises you on your career and personal development.
Your boss can be a mentor, but they don't have to be. A mentor can be someone from a completely different department who you look up to.
Having that guide can help you navigate the unwritten rules of the workplace, often called office politics.
Office politics. That's a tricky area. My advice is to be friendly and professional with everyone, but avoid gossip like the plague.
Stay focused on your work and don't get pulled into negative conversations. Be a positive and reliable force on the team.
Another key skill is learning how to receive feedback, especially constructive criticism.
It's so easy to get defensive when someone points out a mistake. But feedback is a gift. It's information that can help you grow.
Listen carefully. Don't interrupt. Ask clarifying questions and thank the person for their input, even if it's hard to hear in the moment.
It shows maturity and a desire to improve. What about managing your relationship with your boss? That's a skill in itself.
It's often called managing up. It means understanding your boss's priorities, their communication style, and what they need from you to succeed.
So it's about making their job easier in a way, keeping them informed so there are no surprises, being proactive.
Exactly. A good working relationship with your manager is one of the biggest factors in job satisfaction.
Now let's talk about moving up. How do you prepare to ask for a promotion or a raise?
You can't just say, "I've been here for a year, I want more money." You need to build a business case.
For months beforehand, you should be documenting your accomplishments in a brag file.
I like that term. Keep a file of your successes. Did you save the company money? Did you lead a successful project? Did you receive praise from a client?
Exactly. Then you schedule a meeting with your boss and present your achievements and your new responsibilities, explaining why they justify a raise or promotion.
It's a business conversation, so you need to come prepared with data and evidence of your value to the company.
Let's shift to a tougher topic. What about leaving a job? How do you resign gracefully?
The most important thing is not to burn bridges. The professional world can be very small, especially within a specific industry.
You might work with these people again in the future, so always be respectful and professional.
Tell your direct manager first, in person, or on a video call if you're remote. Don't let them hear it from someone else.
And then follow up with a formal, simple resignation letter. And you should always offer to work a 2-week notice period.
That's the standard professional courtesy. Use that time to hand over your projects properly and help train your replacement if necessary.
Leave on the best possible terms. It says a lot about your character and professionalism.
Let's talk about work-life balance. We touched on it, but what are the warning signs of burnout?
Constant exhaustion, even after a night's sleep. Feeling cynical or detached from your job. A sense of ineffectiveness, like nothing you do matters.
Those are serious signs. It's your mind and body telling you to slow down and make a change.
Setting boundaries is the first step. It means saying no sometimes. You can't take on every single task, or you'll do none of them well.
And it means truly disconnecting. The right to disconnect is a growing movement. Don't answer work emails at 10 p.m.
I think companies are slowly understanding that employee well-being is not just a nice thing to have. It's essential for long-term productivity.
A burned out workforce is not an effective workforce. It leads to more mistakes, lower morale, and high employee turnover.
Some companies are starting wellness programs or offering mental health days, which is a great step forward.
It is. It helps to reduce the stigma around talking about stress and mental health in the workplace.
Now, what skills do you think are most essential for thriving in this modern workplace, beyond the technical skills for the job itself?
I think adaptability is at the top of the list. Things change so fast. New software, new strategies, new market conditions. You have to be willing to learn and pivot.
That's a big one. I would also say emotional intelligence. Understanding your colleagues, managing conflict, and communicating with empathy.
That's crucial for teamwork. A team of brilliant people who can't work together will fail. It's the ability to collaborate that produces great results.
And I'd add problem solving. Not just identifying problems, but coming up with creative and practical solutions.
Employers want people who can think for themselves and take initiative, not just follow instructions.
Let's talk more about the gig economy. It offers flexibility, but what are the downsides?
The biggest downside is the lack of a safety net. No paid sick leave, no vacation days, no employer-sponsored health insurance or 401k. You are entirely on your own.
And your income can be unstable. You might have a great month followed by a very slow month. It requires careful financial planning and budgeting.
It's a trade-off. You get freedom and flexibility, but you give up security and benefits that come with a traditional W-2 job.
It's not for everyone. It takes a certain personality and risk tolerance to thrive in that kind of uncertainty.
What about the trend of having a side hustle? A small business you run in your spare time?
I think it's a great way to explore a passion and earn extra income. It could be anything from selling crafts on Etsy to freelance writing.
It can also be a safety net. If something happens with your main job, you have another source of income to fall back on.
It can also be a way to test out a business idea before you quit your main job to pursue it full time.
It's a lot of work, though. You have to manage your time very effectively to avoid burning out from working two jobs.
That's true. It's not for everyone. This brings us back to the idea of a dream job. Do you think it exists?
I think the concept can be a bit misleading. It implies there's one perfect job out there that will be amazing every single day with no stress.
And that's just not realistic, is it? Every job has its boring tasks, its difficult people, and its stressful days.
I prefer the idea of finding good work. A role that aligns with your values, uses your skills, provides a decent living, and allows you to have a balanced life.
That feels much more achievable and healthier. It takes the pressure off finding that one perfect thing that might not even exist.
And sometimes, you find satisfaction in unexpected places. A job you thought was just a stepping stone might turn into a career you love.
Or maybe the dream isn't one job, but a portfolio career where you have several different part-time jobs or projects at once.
That's an interesting concept. It provides variety and multiple streams of income. It's like diversifying your career just like you would your investments.
That's a great way to put it. This leads us to the future. How do you think AI and automation will change jobs?
I think it will eliminate a lot of repetitive data entry type tasks, which frankly, most people don't enjoy anyway.
So it will free up humans to focus on more complex, creative, and strategic work. The things that require a human touch and critical thought.
Exactly. Skills like critical thinking, complex problem solving, creativity, and leadership will become even more valuable than they are today.
So the message isn't to be scared of technology, but to focus on developing our uniquely human skills that machines can't replicate.
Precisely. Lifelong learning isn't just a nice idea anymore. It's an essential strategy for a long-term, successful career. You have to be a student forever.
I love that phrase, be a student forever. It implies curiosity and a growth mindset. What does that look like in practice?
It could be taking an online course on Coursera, getting a certification from Google or Microsoft, or even just listening to podcasts like this one to learn new things.
It's about intentionally setting aside time for your own development. It's an investment in your future.
And we're seeing the rise of new types of jobs like green jobs focused on sustainability and the environment.
That's an exciting and important field. Working on renewable energy, conservation, or sustainable agriculture, it's a career with a clear purpose.
A purpose beyond just a paycheck. For many people, that sense of contributing to something positive for the world is incredibly motivating.
It goes back to what makes a job satisfying. It's a combination of the work itself, the people, the culture, and the impact it has.
We have covered so much ground in this conversation. I feel like we've gone from the first resume to the future of the planet.
We have. I hope it's been useful. So, as we wrap up this very long conversation, what is one final piece of advice you'd give to our listeners about their careers?
I would say, don't be afraid to ask for help, and don't be afraid to fail. Every successful person has a long list of failures they learned from.
That's a wonderful one. In the US, there's often a culture of celebrating failure as a learning opportunity, especially in the startup world.
What about you, Ryan? Your final piece of advice?
Mine would be to take care of your mental health throughout the process. Job searching is stressful. Work is stressful. It's okay to feel overwhelmed.
That's so important. Talk to friends, family, or a professional if you need to. Your well-being should always be your top priority, above any job.
A career is a marathon, not a sprint. You have to pace yourself and take care of your most important asset, you.
A perfect way to end. This has been a really comprehensive discussion. I've even learned a few things myself.
Me too. I hope our listeners have found it helpful and picked up useful vocabulary and ideas along the way.
I'm sure they have. Remember to keep practicing your English every single day. The journey of learning is very much like a career journey with its own ups and downs.
That's a beautiful analogy. Thank you all for tuning into the English Practice Podcast for this special deep dive.
We'll be back next time with another topic. Until then, take care and happy learning.